Hi, I'm here to talk about 90 Day Fiancé the Other Way, Season 4, Tell All Part 3. We finally made it! Part 3! More like 2.5. But we started off right where we ended with Chris and Jamie. Jamie was throwing out her accusations about Chris's ex sending explicit photos and videos to her of them. Chris had some kind of story about how those were old, and she, got real upset with him after it happened. They kind of gloss over that. They talk about the finances and how that's been a big problem. They bring out Chris's mom, and she kind of backs Chris's story about how she sent $10,000, and Jamie is showing her phone that, the PayPal transaction she had, and it was $1,700 and some change. Nobody can decide who they believe. Tim and Veronica are there, I think because Chris and Jamie didn't have friends, so they had to bring out somebody to talk with them. Veronica's team Jamie, so I'm good with that. I feel the same way. So Miss Debbie wants to chime in and defend Chris again, and the accusations she has for Jamie are ridiculous. I did enjoy when Sean asked Osama what he thought. He was like, I understand nothing. None of us do, bro. So that was good. There's really no conclusions there. These two aren't going to kiss and make up. They're never going to agree. Sean asks if they have any last words for each other, and Chris tries to act like, no, she's just going to say something rude back. And Jamie comes in with I'm worried about her mental health. And then Chris kind of starts going off a little. So I hope that I never have to see Chris again on any show in my whole life. That would make me very happy. She is full of crap, and I feel bad for Jamie. I don't think Jamie's 100% innocent. Nobody is. But the gaslighting and the mental manipulation and the financial abuse, that's unforgivable to me. So I hope Jamie moves on and finds a nice lady and sails off into the sunset. And I hope Chris gets mental health and I don't have to hear about it. I would like to never hear anything again about her. So that's about all I got to say about them guys. So then we circle back to Nicole and Mahmoud, and they bring out his brother. I always liked his brother. He was the only one talking any sense. Maybe in the whole show. He should give everyone advice and intervene. So they re-show the clip of the fight after they went swimming. When Nicole's wearing the bikini, I laugh because just the face she had when she put it on was so defeated. Oh, poor girl. Anywho, they're showing the clip, and the brother says if he would have been there, he could have stopped them for a minute and things would fix. And what would you know happens? Danielle chimes in and makes it about herself again and says, well, yeah, I deal with the same problems in my own relationship. I just wonder if it's going to get better. Why? This isn't about her. And she only does this to Nicole and Mahmoud. She didn't chime in on no one else. So maybe it's because she's not intimidated by Nicole. Who knows? But she had just had to go and chime in again on something that wasn't about her and make it about her. So, great. Then we move on to the juicy stuff, which is Nicole bringing up Mahmoud's texting other women, specifically the girl from China, and she's listing all the questions he asked her. How are you? What TV do you like? I like American TV and Egyptian. And she's going on and on about this conversation. And the whole time, Mahmoud and his brother are hysterically laughing. Like, someone told the funniest joke. And Nicole's, like, ready to cry again, right? And they're just laughing. So, of course, people start calling them out on it. And they say it's their culture. I don't know Egyptian culture. Apparently, they laugh at everything. I do feel like Mahmoud, like, uses his culture a lot to make excuses for how he's mistreating her. So then they start getting input from the rest of the cast, and Debbie's like, it's nervous laughter, I think, and this whole time Gabriel's expressions on point. I'm here for his expressions. I feel them in my soul, because that's what I'm doing when I'm watching this. But then he tells Mahmoud that he is scummy. Ah! Scummy. Thank God someone said it. No one said, why are you grabbing on her arm when she's trying to walk away from you? None of that. They let these people off too easy for their terrible behavior. So Gabe calls him scummy and then says, words from my wife. Mahmoud is everything I would not want in a man. Ah! That got me. It was good. I needed that, because up until this point, I've been annoyed. The comedic relief was great. So now they start talking about all the clothes and things like that. Gabe's advice to Nicole is to get divorced. The brother and Mahmoud start fighting with him. They're going back and forth. Gabe just redirects his question to Nicole, because I think Gabe actually cares about her. And I'm glad he's standing up for people. It's nice to see. So they're saying, Mahmoud is saying that he's never going to stop asking Nicole to cover her entire body. But Nicole says that she doesn't believe that clothing has anything to do with a religion. So she's going to continue to do what she wants. Mahmoud will be in America. Actually, I have seen video of him in the airport getting filmed, so my guess is they're going to be on Happily Ever After or some spinoff. I think that it's going to be interesting to see him in America and how he reacts to the culture here. At this point, all the cast starts chirping in, and Chris starts saying something, and Mahmoud is going to sit there and go like, start mocking her like he's 10. I don't know. I don't even think my 8-year-old would do that. So I don't know the appropriate age for mocking. But that was just an example of how he is. He goes on to say that the only reason he's not being an asshole is because it makes Nicole sad. It makes her cry. He doesn't care about nobody or their opinions. He's going to be how he's going to be. Which everybody knew. That's the problem, is he doesn't see a problem in how he's acting. Hopefully, when he does make it to America and he sees that people can live however they would like, and not all of us are disrespecting his religion just by being ourselves or whatever. I did see that they were caught at the airport filming, I assume for Happily Ever After. So I'm sure we're going to see lots of issues involving him and his culture shock. So I'm excited to see that. I enjoy watching him miserable because he makes Nicole miserable all the time. We circle back around to Gabe and Isabel. They bring out his sister Monica, and we find out they haven't really talked since she didn't show up to the wedding. Gabe says, "We talk every day." And she says, "You send memes." Typical man, right? "We send memes." He says that's how he communicates. He doesn't like to talk on the phone. The real issue here is he doesn't like to face confrontation. He is afraid of arguing. So, they start unraveling the story of why she didn't come to the wedding. Basically, it boils down to a big miscommunication. And Monica finds out that Isabel wanted her to be a bridesmaid, and her mom made a dress for her. And she was really emotional about that because she didn't know. Gabe didn't tell her anything. He told her to get a dress, she would just wear that. So, Isabel's saying she was really upset because Gabe had said she's the reason for all his failed relationships. He says he meant that she causes problems in all his relationships. I don't know if that's much better. You could tell they missed each other. You could tell Isabel was happy to see them work it out. It felt like we were in sibling therapy, but they needed it. And it was a good little end to their story. Gabe mentioned they're working on getting Isabel a visa to come to the States so they could have another wedding there. And Monica hopefully will be the bridesmaid and wear the mom's dress. So that was pretty cute. I'm really happy for them. They were like the best, healthiest couple of the season. Not that that was hard, but I really like their relationship. They end up letting the cast take a little break, and everything starts hitting Jen about what happened with Rishi's mom and her calling her old, basically. She calls Rishi and sobbing, crying. It's like, she will never say that about me again. Never. Like, she'll never. I'll never talk to you again. She's freaking out. Rishi's like, "I'm so sorry." She's a traditional housewife. She don't know how to talk to people. Ah! Why are you gonna do your mom like that, Rishi? She don't know. Leave her alone. Oh my gosh. So, Jen's sobbing, and the rest of the cast are on the other side of the curtain. And they just start, talking bad about Rishi. He's not a man. He's not going to step up. Debbie wishes he was there as if she's going to do something. She did mention she would like to have a useful function for her green boots she decided to wear. Apparently that's to handle Rishi. I think it's funny that these people are sitting there critiquing a relationship when none of theirs are fully functional besides Gabe. So they're sitting there, they're talking bad about Rishi. They get the announcement that it's time to get back on set. Break time's over, kids. They get back on stage. Sean notices Jen is gone. They start telling her why, and Rishi starts explaining. Then Jen makes her way back, and she tells Sean she's having a rough time. Rishi just starts sobbing. He's really upset. You can tell this is affecting him. Now all the cast that were talking crap about him behind the curtain are saying what a good man he is. Danielle says, "Oh, he's so empathetic. That's the sign of a good man." I believe that's a dig at Johan because he can watch her cry all day. He don't make a face. Danielle's like, at least he cares when you're upset. I think Danielle is real jealous about that fact, which I could understand. If I was sobbing in front of my partner and they're like, "Cool, we'll take a cab home because I'm still upset and it's my birthday." I could understand, even though I dislike her. They continue to go on for a few minutes, pretty much about the same thing. That where do they go from here? Jen's like, I can't be with someone whose family doesn't accept me from the beginning, which is what they said at the end of like when we talked about them. So we came back to this. For some reason, Sean's like, I think we need another break. These guys get all the breaks. So they get up, everyone's leaving. We go back to Tim and Veronica, the spicy commentators. And I think Tim makes a lot of sense when he's saying they just need to end it here and be friends before they resent each other, hate each other, keep on with this. I feel like they might be a couple that we'll see again in the future because it's so dramatic and the family not accepting her aspect. They dragged it on for like 10 years with Jenny and Summit, right? So hopefully we see them again. I enjoyed Jen. I liked her a lot. She was really practical and level-headed, and she didn't seem to make decisions based on her emotion. I did like that. So I hope that at least the best for her. And Rishi's a pretty good guy, so hopefully they can figure it out. So on the break, the best thing happens. Gabe and Jen are having a little powwow, and she goes, yeah, I'm not going to let opportunities pass me by. One may have come up. Then she reveals she slipped her digits to Miss Debbie's son. I knew it. I saw how she was talking to him and looking at him in the first part of the reunion. And then Debbie was like, wasn't she making eyes at you? And he's like, give her my number. I knew it. She's a smitten kitten. So hopefully that works out for her. They were talking about how he has a career and he's in this country and his family doesn't hate him. They won't care about a little age difference over there. So maybe we'll see that. I'd like to see that. Would you like to see that? Let me know if you want to see that in the comments, please. Finally, we move on to Danielle and Johan. And they are both asked what's the biggest problem in their relationship. They both say communication. And Johan says trust, that they both don't trust each other. They both say they have real high good days and real terrible days. They asked Danielle if she really meant it when she said she was done on the beach. She said she never really means it. She's kind of all talk. They bring out Tim and Veronica, who say that they like their relationship and that they agree that communication is their problem. But Tim also thinks it's a conflict of who's going to be the pants wearer in the relationship. Who's the man, right? Danielle thinks she is the man and the woman and everything else. I don't know if they tell them to be nice-ish to these people or whose side to be on. But they're pretty nice about Danielle. Maybe some people do enjoy her. I'm not one of them. They begin showing all the clips of when Danielle was the victim. And Johan was mean. Mainly the birthday party, when he didn't thank her in front of his family, and she was upset and she left. They're showing the clips, and everyone starts giving their opinions. They move into why it wasn't okay for her to want them to have dinner with the ex, or even her to have dinner with the ex alone. Debbie says it's disrespectful. You don't bring the last guy that was your friends with benefits and flaunt him in front of your husband. And Johan gives her an applause. Finally, someone's standing up for him, seeing it his way. Everyone kind of agrees that it's not a trust issue. It's a respect thing. pretty much anyone in a relationship wouldn't want their partner going out with an ex alone, whether or not you're okay with it. You have to have respect for the person's feelings and boundaries, right? Pretty much everyone agrees. Sean goes and asks Isabel if she's okay if Gabe hung out with an ex. She said absolutely not. And then she said it's not a sacrifice, it's respect. She's not sacrificing relationships with her exes, which most people don't want that anyway. But she's respecting her partner. And Gabe says, when you get married, you make some sacrifices, which is true. And it reminded me of something else she said in the tell-all about when Gabe was going out, with his friends. She doesn't like that. She doesn't participate in that behavior. She does that out of respect for her relationship because it's precious to her. And I think more people should be like that. So basically, no one agrees with Danielle. I'm not surprised. Johan's looking extra chipper because finally people are calling her out on some of her issues. Tim and Veronica come and give their opinion, and they're notorious for being best friends that are exes. But they said they've had to say, no, we can't hang out. My partner isn't comfortable with that right now. They've had to have boundaries. They share a child as well, but it took them years to get here. And the thing with Danielle and this guy Talon is they were together during, the pandemic, during 2020. They were in vacation mode. They basically shacked up. But it wasn't that long ago. She's been with Johan probably a couple years. They were on Love in Paradise. But they haven't been together that much longer. Like, it's not like an old high school ex, they grew up together. Nobody would be comfortable with this. She is just a control freak and wants to feel like she has all the power. All she's done this whole time is make him change, criticize him, make him feel like a child, put down his business, and the one thing he asked her to do, she couldn't do it. And in true 90-day fashion, Sean announces, we got Talon here, come on out. So he comes out, has a seat, everyone says hi. He says, what up, Johan? And Johan said, oh, the translation's off. I don't understand English, remember? He said nothing. They start asking Talon about if he still has feelings for Danielle. He says no. Johan says Danielle has pictures of him still in the house. Everyone assumed that meant like framed on the wall. But she claims they're just her pictures in her drawer. I don't think it's fair to make someone get rid of all the pictures they have from their life. If she's not displaying them, I think that's okay. Johan basically wants no part in them having a friendship. He's still feeling very disrespected. Danielle still doesn't think that she's wrong. I'm shocked. They're watching the clips of Danielle meeting with Talon on the boat, and this is the first time Johan's hearing her talk disrespectfully or bad about him, calling him immature, the things that she is saying to Talon on the boat. He can't believe how disrespectful that is. I agree, and I know it's really hard to not talk badly about your partner sometime or vent frustrations you're having. But you need to discuss that with the person. And once you start talking bad about them and feeling comfortable talking bad about them to other people, that's a big problem. So, Johan says that he's uncomfortable with Taylor being there alone. Not alone. In the studio in the same city with Danielle. And he's not there. Sean did ask him that question. She's good at that. Poking. Eventually, Johan just says she can have all the friends and people she wants because once their lease is up, he's moving out. They can go their separate ways. He doesn't care. He's got no feelings. He doesn't love and respect her as a wife anymore after she's pulled all this. Everyone kind of turns on him at this point and starts talking about, he should give it a chance. Is this his hill to die on, basically? Gabe points out this might be the only area Johan has control of anything because Danielle's so overbearing and so controlling. Danielle's saying that she's responsible for doing everything. If she doesn't pay the rent, it doesn't get paid. Which is true because when she moved there, the electric got shut off because he just didn't pay the bill. He knew about it, he just didn't do it. So I could see her having to feel like she's managing everything. But she could teach him how, in a respectful way without talking down to him like a child. Johan starts comparing his relationship to a business and says, you're putting all this in the business and the business is going nowhere. Then you close the business. I guess he's got a good point. It's kind of a good analogy. Danielle goes back and kind of makes it sound like, well, I don't know who I'm going to get after this, and like it's her decision to leave him or something. Like he didn't just dump her in front of everybody. She's like, I can either be patient and wait for him to learn to have a healthy relationship, or I could just leave because it's not good for me. Like he just said, when the lease is up, we're done. I don't think you have a choice. Like, why are we talking about this? Like he said, he took that back at any point. The choice isn't yours. You can't pull the, like, you can't fire me, I quit thing when he just said it. You should be working on apologizing and trying to save your marriage, not acting like you're the one ending it. Come on. Sean asked Johan how he feels about the relationship. He said 1 to 10, 0. It's not looking so good. Danielle said this will work if he's willing to go to therapy. That is a great idea. Everyone should go to therapy. Therapy can change your life and the way you see yourself if you let it apply. Anyways, Johan says, nah, bro, I'm not interested in therapy. It doesn't work here. So I don't know if therapy is like shameful in the DR or just like frowned upon in his culture. I'm not sure what he meant by that. If you guys know, let me know. I think therapy in general is stigmatized these days, and I don't think anyone should be ashamed to want or need therapy. Even if you have like one of the cushiest, nicest lifestyles, everyone goes through trauma and something that they could heal from. So yeah, therapy is great. She should go to therapy singly and, on top of her spiritual healer. You can do both, and it does work. So Danielle should take that advice and just go to therapy herself. They kind of wrap up with Taylin. He says every relationship has its problems. I really don't think he's trying to get into this. Sean, thanks him for coming on the show. And that's that. Sean thanks Tim and Veronica for being there. They walk back across the stage again. Those two have been doing laps back and across. They should have just given them their special seats in the background where we could all just hear what they were saying the whole time. Might as well. They're practically cast members, right? I do miss the whole Tim and Kenny dynamic. But I just love Kenny. He's awesome. After that, they thanked Danielle and Johan and all the rest of the couples. We're wrapping her up over here. We start following everyone out to go home. Danielle's still in denial. She says this is not the end of her relationship. At least she doesn't think so. She doesn't know what to expect from Johan. I think she also said, she's going to fight for her marriage. What I think it is if the marriage is going to end, it's going to be on her terms. She is not the type to just let someone leave her, I don't think. So, good luck to Johan. Gabe, they say bye to Gabe. He's got it pretty easy. He says, hopefully, maybe they'll be in the U.S. one day to visit. I think he knows Isabel will probably never move away from her country to America. But maybe he hopes that deep down. I think he really does want to visit because, his family's important too. And he needs to really build upon that with his wife. So, that was it from Gabe. Chris and Jamie basically say the same thing about each other. She's a liar, she's a manipulator. Poor Jamie thinks and feels like the whole world fell for Chris's garbage, which, no, we didn't. This show is always lenient to the American cast members and unfair to the people from other countries. I'm pretty sure that's a popular opinion from the years. Let me know if you think that. Neither of them wants to speak to the other again, which I think is for the best for both of them. Definitely for Jamie. According to Chris, Jamie's always been a good victim, so maybe she'll find someone else to save her, right? Next, we get over to Jen, who jumps into the arms of her new future mother-in-law, Miss Debbie. Tells her how she's an inspiration. How? Like, she literally was dating a 24-year-old and got, played from him. So, I don't get that. But she's, being super nice. Hopefully I'll see you soon. And she says she basically leaves today knowing that she loves Rishi and he loves her and she doesn't regret it. But she's not confident about it moving forward. And, I think she really just wants to go on a date with Julian, Miss Debbie's son. We get to say bye to Osama, and he starts up with his poetry crap, He envisioned the beautiful poetic life with Debbie, and he wants to, say goodbye to her nicely. He was kind of cold, but I could see why. He's 24, and he, to us is this evil scammer, and I'm sure he did love her in some way and wanted a better life. I'm not convinced she didn't promise him that either. Miss Debbie's walking out, and she says she hasn't shut that door with Osama, even though her kids would like that and everyone else would. She's a very loyal friend, and they were best friends for 3 years. It is hard to talk to someone every day for years, even if it's just on the phone or through texting and you don't feel alone. And then losing that person has to be hard. So hopefully she can find a nice gentleman companion stateside and move forward, because she can't fall back into that. She doesn't have enough time to waste chasing Osama in Morocco. So that's it on Miss Debbie. Lastly, we say goodbye to Nicole. I believe she unveiled her super secret master plan of getting Mahmoud to the States and breaking some of his super traditional habits and ways. I did like when she said they need to create their own culture as a family. I think that's true no matter what two cultures are coming together. It should be a nice amalgam of both people's lives, not just all one person and all another. So that was good. That was the end of the season 4, The Other Way, Tell All Part 3. That's a mouthful. All in all, this whole season was missing the true love factor. Usually there's one or two couples that are clearly what is happening here? Like someone's using the other one. Like Muhammad and Eve type thing, you know? But on that same season, we had couples who were clearly in love and wanted to be together. And we're a legit couple. I don't feel like we had much of that this season. It felt very forced. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of love shown. It was a lot of fighting and bickering and why are these people together? I believe next week starts before the 90 days and we have a bunch of new couples, but the return of Gino and Jasmine, I'm excited to see them, so I should probably be covering that. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what you thought about this tell-all or the season. Maybe you agreed with me, maybe you didn't. I would love to hear about it. Thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye.